Okay, and welcome to the pop culture tutorial. My name is Ed Rollo. Thanks for checking this video out. I really appreciate your patience. I know a lot of you out there have been waiting for this for some time. I do apologize. I've had quite a hectic last couple of months after releasing a little teaser video about the tutorial coming up. So thanks for bearing with me. I really appreciate the support. I'm going to do my best to go over things as thoroughly as possible. I hope people don't find this a little bit too advanced. If you're just starting out with Ableton and Launchpad and things like that, it's best not to delve into this immediately because there's quite a lot of techniques and sort of things that I'm not really going to go over in this. This is more kind of about finding the samples, how I utilize them in the mix, and kind of the structure and the workflow of the mashup. Not to forget about the solo, which is going to be a big part of this tutorial as well, which I won't cover until the very end. Yeah, thanks for sticking with me. This is going to take a while. I dare say it's going to take about 45 minutes or so. I'm going to go through each track individually. This is my first tutorial, so I do really appreciate the feedback. A simple like or a subscribe or something like that would be really much appreciated. Jump on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Mr. Ed Rollo, and just tell me that you got something out of it. I always like to hear things from people. It does mean a lot. All that aside, let's get stuck into it. I've just got iTunes over here. I've got the playlist of the 39 tracks. We'll go through them one by one. I'll spend about a minute on each one. I'll play the track, identify the sample, and then I'll tell you how I used it in the mix. So they're all just in alphabetical order. Let's get started. First track is Aerodynamic by Daft Punk. Let's have a listen. Cool, I think we're all pretty much familiar with this. The sample's towards the end here. Nice, pretty basic stuff, and cool. Pitched up about seven semitones. Just be careful with your warping settings. I know if you put it on something like Beats or something like that, it can sound like dirt. So just be aware of that. I've just chucked mine on complex. Yeah, it seemed to sound all right. Okay, next track, Alejandro.
I just can't be with you like this anymore, Alejandro.
Okay, so this was a tricky one. I know some people had a lot of trouble with this. I had trouble with it as well. I couldn't actually identify a clear sample in here that was, that I could identify in Madeon's mashup. I did actually use it, probably not the right way, but the way I used it was with this Keisha Take It Off. If you listen to Keisha's Take It Off just by itself, it sounds kind of empty. There's a little sort of I don't know what you call it, like a synth hit here and synth hit here, which is kind of on the offbeats, and it just fills out a lot of sound. I had just Keisha in here to begin with, and I could kind of hear it wasn't right. So what I did is I used this sort of pulsating synth from Alejandro that you can hear here. That kind of pulsating, sidechain effect there. I kind of chopped that up and layered it over the Keisha sample, and you get this. I chucked it through like a phaser and stuff like that just to really screw around the sound. It's kind of dirty sounding. Yeah, so that's how I used Alejandro. I don't know if it's the right way, but that's the only use I had for it. Someone does know like where that goes. I'm sure everyone would love to hear about it. Just make a comment underneath. Yeah, it's all about passing on information. Next track, All the Right Moves. There we go. Cool. So a lot of tracks, there's 5 or so which I just used as like one shots. All the one shots are kind of in here. You can see that mine are all kind of labeled as Bubba O'Reilly. Don't take that as exactly what is there. Most of these have been layered with a couple of other one shots as well, just to kind of to boost the sound a little bit more. I did get a lot of comments on my sound. There's sort of 2 reasons for that. people saying I had a big sound. One thing is the layering, layering a lot of tracks over one another. Just to kind of make it a little bit more punchy. The other thing was that I actually had the camera that I used, or that my mate recorded it with. We actually used the room sound from just my speakers in my bedroom, and we layered that on the back end of the video. So it's actually recording the live sound as well as the Ableton file as well. And it was just sort of like 5% volume, but you kind of get this big kind of reverby effect, and that's had a big thing to do with how I got a big sound. Cool. All right, next track, Around the World. Yeah, and somewhere towards the end you'll find like the acapella. Oh, that was lucky. Yeah, so Around the World is just here. Yeah, pitched up one semitone. Something I should mention with this Around the World is this little bit of silence here just before the sample starts. There's a couple of ways you can achieve this. You can sort of drag your play marker back, or once you're in envelopes mode, just grab the pen tool, click on volume, and just yeah, just drag your volume down like that, and you get a little bit of silence before, or just Apple Z. And I've listened to a lot of different covers on YouTube and stuff, and I think a lot of people left kind of this tail end of the sample at the start here, and when they trigger it, it sort of plays right away. I think it sounds a little bit messy. You want to kind of get this. Yeah, you want to get that little bit of silence at the beginning. I think it's quite important. All right, next track, Bubba O'Reilly. Cool. Yeah, I use that quite a lot. Mashed up with a bunch of other tracks as well. Most important one probably was at the top line here. Like a nice kind of stretched out long synth hit there. Yep. So next track, Baby One More Time. Yeah, nice. So you can hear the sample right there at the start. Baby One More Time's here. You notice a little bit of silence at the beginning here, and there's warp markers all over the place. It's all just about making it sound right. Detuned a couple and sped up quite a lot as well. I'm sorry if I'm going over this too quickly. I'm trying to squeeze everything into the smallest amount of time. I think we're going to go at least for about 45 minutes here, so I'm just trying to get as much information into this as possible. So yeah, I do apologize if you're missing things. You may have to go back and watch this a couple of times to really pick up what I've been saying. Maybe it's all the coffee I've been drinking as well. Next track is Billie Jean. Sweet, so I found the acapella to this. Who would dance on the floor? Really shitty quality, I can hear that now. Yeah, cool, but it didn't really matter, it was only this that you needed from it. So pitch down one. Yeah, cool, lots of fun. Next track, Biology. Sweet, so that's just at the intro there. It was really quite cool with, it just made things more easygoing with all these tracks, and most of them were in the intros. You didn't have to search for too long. There were a couple of really tricky ones, but here's my Biology track here. I can hear that now. Yeah, there's another sample in here. Yeah, cool. So Biology, and I Decided. I've just taken a one shot from I Decided and slipped that into here as well, just to give that a little bit more punch. You'll notice that my transpose settings are still on 0 here, even though this is in a different key. This is because I would have taken Biology, hit tab, brought it over into arrangement view here, added the I Decided one shot to it as well, exported it as a WAV file, and then rebrought it back into Ableton together, and it's already kind of warped for you. It's already it's at you don't have to transpose it or anything if you transposed it from the start. I'll just play the original again so you can kind of compare the two. Yeah, cool. I think mine's a little bit more punchy. Next track, Boyfriend. Yeah, cool. So it's just those drums at the beginning. I use them quite a bit. Cool. Pitched up 3 just to make them sound a little bit more tight, a little bit tighter. Yeah, whatever. Boys and girls. You need to find the Boys and Girls extended mix. It goes for 6.5 minutes. It just isn't right the way through. You'll find it eventually. There's an acapella in there. You can just rip straight from it.
I could be your boy, you could be my girl. I could be your boy, come on, rock my world. I could.
Cool. I think Madeon sounds a lot nicer than mine. Mine sounds a little bit tinny. It's something I'd like to learn how to do better in the future. The way he transposes his tunes to, transposes, this is transposed up quite a bit. I don't know how to achieve that. He has like a real low end to his acapellas. If someone does know that, that technique, please share it. I would really like to know that. Something else I need to mention in this as well is at the end here, you've got a tiny little synth hit. This took me quite a while to sort of figure out, and I only added it in towards the end of releasing this. I'll just play it for you again. It's a tiny little synth hit right here at the end, and it just kind of rolls into the next beat. It's really nice. Madeon does a lot of this sort of stuff in his tunes, and you'll notice a few more of them throughout this tutorial, which we'll talk about.
I could be your boy, you could be my girl. I could be your boy, come on, rock my world. I could.
Nice. Yes, it's really subtle, but it was quite important. I think I ripped that from one of the Justice tracks. I think it was Phantom. Cool. Yeah, just keep an eye on that. Have a listen to my video. Check out Madeon's. You'll hear it. Cool. Next track. Can I Have a Word? Yep, and so on. It's just that intro, and it's also the intro to pop culture. Sped up twice as fast and also pitched up a hell of a lot, 16 semitones. Again, be careful with your warping settings. I've just chucked this on complex. You have it on something like Beats, it sounds like dirt. Yeah, nasty. Just play around with your warping settings. This is an age-old sort of argument about what warping settings is best in Ableton. I know some of them sound better than others. I think repitch is probably the best you can do. Things like complex do sound better, but I think you lose audio quality. That's just, from personally listening to it. Sometimes I notice like the high end or the low end can be lost. If someone knows the actual science behind it, please share. It's always been a bit of a mystery to me, but I just go with what sounds good. So that's Can I Have a Word? I spent a long time on this, transposing things all over the place to trying to get it sounding right, and it was never quite there until I, eventually just tried pitching until it just fell into place. I don't think you had to do much else to it except for speed it up twice as fast. All right, cool. Next track, Crawling. Cool. Again, it's just that intro. It's also mashed up with Losing Touch, which I'll play for you now. Nice. So yeah, Losing Touch and Crawling, you mash them up together. I think they're in the same key as each other as well as the same key as Pop Culture, and you play them together, you get this. Nice. All right, next one. Well, no, not Losing Touch. Crawling. Okay, so Dare is the next one. Gorillas.
It's there.
Cool, and there it was right there.
It's there.
Nice.
It's there.
That's pretty straightforward. It's all in the same key. All right, next track, DVNO. Sorry, I think that's the live track. Let's try it.
It's always the same.
Nice. So yeah, definitely one shots in here somewhere. Would have used DVNO for sure to sort of beef up some of these one shots. Something that I needed to mention as well. Yeah, it's for the main loop. The main loop I may have been from DVNO or perhaps it was Phantom, where I ripped the kick and clap from to make up my main loop up here. We'll go into that a bit later, but yeah, definitely used, I think, some of the Justice tracks. Maybe it was just for the clap, but we'll get onto that soon. Fascination's next track. Yeah, cool. I'm pretty sure Madeon's obsessed with these guys. Yeah, there's this. I didn't think I used this in the right way. Someone jumped on my Facebook page and said, "Oh, you didn't use Fascination." I did use it. I just don't think I used it correctly. The guy who put the comment on my page used it here in this square, which you can see I have blank. This is the part I tried to work out, but I just couldn't do it. Madeon does this really cool thing a couple of times. He goes through the main groove. He does this kind of step beat, and it kind of breaks up the sound of the track. It's a really neat trick that he does. I couldn't quite work it out. This guy on my page reckons it's Fascination, so he's probably right. The way I did use it though was right at the very end. I'll just play it to you now. Just that big bang at the end there. I used that down the bottom here in this sample, which is titled New Build-Up. This is a really important one. It's probably the most complex sample out of the lot. I think there's about 5 tracks in here. This got resampled a bunch of times. I'll play just the very start of this. You'll hear a big explosion, and that's the ending of Fascination, pitched down quite a bit. And yeah, just take a listen. Cool, play that again. It sounds really nasty, really dirty, but I just use it just to beef this up quite a bit. We'll go more into this later as we get through the list of songs I have over here, just so I stay on track. I tend to get a little bit distracted and go off on tangents. So let's go to the next track, which is Heavy Cross. Right, so it was towards the end. There's a big build-up. Yeah, it's somewhere in there. I can't find it at the time. At this time, sorry. But I'll play you my sample here. A lot of people use this in the solo. I used it to lead into the solo, and then mine just kind of fades out because I didn't think it really worked. The notes were just kind of clashing with the other songs I was mashing it up with, so it just sort of fades out. This is just volume automation. You can see here. Just double click as long as you're in the envelopes mode. If you're not in that, you won't see it. Jump in envelopes mode, you can double click your automations. You got pan, volume, and transposing. For those of you who don't know, most of you probably do. But let's just have a listen. And so on. Yeah, and that just sort of slowly fades out. Cool. All right, next track, Hung Up. This was an easy one.
Time goes by so slowly.
Sure, it's just over here.
Time goes by so slowly.
Sweet. Pitched up 3 again. Madeon's sample sounds a little bit nicer. He kind of has that low end behind his vocals. Something that I haven't been able to achieve. And that person out there who does know what it is, yeah, is going to let us all know as soon as they feel like it. Next track, I Decided. Nice. Okay, so I already used I Decided in this biology clip here, but the main reason main place where I used it, sorry, was in this new build-up as well. So we've already had Fascination was in here. I may as well play this clip right through now, and I'll go into a bit more detail about what this is. Okay, so I hope you guys heard that there. You've got I Decided running in the background here. I think I had to do with this. It's that very intro bit there. I wanted to keep the same rhythm of those hits, but the bass line is kind of twice as long. So I literally had to bring it into the arrangement view. I just hit tab and you get over there, and I had to slice it all up and then shorten the length of the bass notes, but still keep the same rhythm to the track. So if we listen to the original again. You'll notice the bass line is quite long and stretched out, and then if you listen to my one, you'll hear it's twice as short. But I've still got the same rhythm, but my bass line is changing on every beat, whereas this is changing on every 2 beats, I guess you'd call it. It's pitched down a lot. You might need to get a good pair of headphones or some big speakers to kind of hear it, and you'll hear the bass line is very low in the background there. Sweet. Other tracks that are in there, you can probably hear there's Can I Have a Word is running in the background of this as well. This is because there's a point there where there's a big build up where Can I Have a Word is playing, and the Madeon stops that clip by pressing these two, but then he triggers this one, and I could still hear Can I Have a Word even though he'd stopped it, so I just figured he had to put it there because nothing else is really playing at the time except for that, and I think the drums, he's just got it's the one shot here, I think, which is running over that clip. Just take a look at my video and take a look at his. You'll get what I'm talking about. Let's move on though. I Got a Feeling. Right, so I'm pretty sure I used that in here just to beef up those one shots. I've also got it over Music Sounds Better with You up the top here. We'll just go into that quickly. Sure, so there's Music Sounds Better Than You and Better With You, sorry, and I Got a Feeling together. Sweet. That's how I use that. Next track is Losing Touch. We've already been over that. The Magic Key. Sweet, so I found the acapella to that.
Listen up. So long ago, it's what you gonna do? Till I miss my OT crew. Can't.
Yeah, cool. So it's in there somewhere. Listen to the whole thing, you'll find it. If you search long enough on the net, you find anything. That's how I find my acapellas. Cool. Notice the space at the start here. Also, I've got wall markers all over the place here. It's tricky, when you've got acapellas and you don't really have a reference, like any kind of beat running behind it. Billie Jean, even though that was kind of an easy one, had like a subtle little drum beat in the background, which is always really handy to have. This acapella was stripped back and it was quite tricky. But just take the time. A lot of things in dance music production take time, but it's worth it. Do the work. It's worth it in the end. Let's move along. Me and You. Sweet. Just a one shot. Yeah, cool. I can see it there. Nice. Mama's Boy. Cool. So that's up here in the top line. I'm just going to take a little tangent here and go into the top line for a second because I did get a lot of emails about this. So we've already had the Bubba O'Reilly, the big stretched out bass line. We've got the main loop over here, and we've also got Mama's Boy. Nice, and you can hear at the end there I've got another little "I Got a Feeling" and "Music Sounds Better with You" sample. These are quite important. The placement of these samples. So how to explain this the best way I can. Madeon probably doesn't use them as much as I did. I used "Music Sounds Better with You" in 3 different spots here, which I'll probably go into when we get to that track, which is coming up in a second. So I'll just leave that for now. Let's stay on track, Ed. Mama's Boy here. Sweet. Bubba O'Reilly. Nice. And we've got the main loop over here as well, which I was explaining before, is chopped up from, I think, some of the Justice tracks. Nice. So you literally just you grab a kick, you grab a clap, you stitch them all together, and I ran shooting stars over the top as well. So if you play the top line all together, you get this. Nice. I hope that clears up a lot of things for some people. Yeah, there was a few unknowns there for a bunch of people. Let's move on though. Mr. Blue Sky.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why.
All right, so somewhere towards the end here, there's this big crazy breakdown. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so that's nicely incorrectly labeled here as build up. Let's have a listen. Cool, I'd kind of call that more of a breakdown. Yeah, with some sort of cheesy phaser effect on it. Kind of wish I did that differently now. Yeah, so there's also "Can I Have a Word" in there as well. I can hear some strings coming in. This is what I was talking about before with "Boys and Girls." This little synth line at the end of that. There's a little strings at the end of this, which kind of lead into the next part of the mashup. It's important stuff like this, which will really help to drive your track. I guess it's the best way to say it. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but listening to it with it and then listening to it without it, you can notice a massive difference for something so subtle. I'll just play it again so you can hear what I'm talking about. You'll notice some strings come in. Let's zoom right out here. You'll notice some strings come in around this point here. Sweet. I'm pretty sure those strings lead into the lead strings. I'll see if I can do that for you now. All right, sorry that was a little bit off. Let's try that again. Nice. Subtle, but important. I hope you guys got that. Sure, let's move on. Music Sounds Better with You. Nice. So we've already touched on this. I'll go into it in a bit more depth now. Yeah, so you've already heard there's a shot at the end of Mama's Boy, mashed up with "I Got a Feeling." There's also a sample by itself here. Take note of all the space here where there's literally nothing playing. All this square is just hitting this one shot. You know, Madeons might be different, but this is it's the only way I could utilize it, and it's really the only way I could fit it into, into all the squares. That took a little bit of mapping, or sorry, a little bit of planning, I guess, or thinking about where everything was going to go and how it was going to work in the mix. And these kind of little one shots, they're sort of firing off all over the place, just to fill out these little spots and little gaps. It's that kind of glitchy French house sort of style that Madeon's quite popular for. There's one more. I got a feeling. Sorry. Music sounds better with you sample in the end of wow here. That's obvious. That's a different key. But it's pitched down a little bit. And if you go through the actual mashup, you'll hear them. You could listen to my video, or we could do it right now. Yeah, why not? Let's see if I don't stuff this up. Nice. I don't know if you heard that there, but yeah, you would have noticed when I hit these, you'll hear the sort of Stardust. Music sounds better with you. Things going off, triggering off all over the place. Watch my video again. Watch Madeon's. I know he doesn't use it as much as I do, but you'll get the concept of it, I guess. Yeah, I don't know if this is making any sense. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit vague on my descriptions. This is the first time I've done this, but that's cool. We're all learning. Next track, oh yeah. Sweet. So it's just that intro there, another intro track, and I use that in the build-up. It comes in halfway through here after just count 4, and then you'll hear oh yeah come in here. Cool. I hope you guys heard that. I'll just play the original again. And I'll play this again. I'll just play it from where it starts. Sweet. Yeah, I mean, so what have we got in here now? We've got Fascination, the start. We've got Can I Have a Word, the strings in here as well. We've got I Decided, which we went over earlier. There's Oh Yeah is in here too. There's I Got a Feeling. So you can see how important this sample was. You know, it's a big one, and I think a lot of people missed it. You know, they just kind of skipped this part, or they used something else to build up on it. I think Heavy Cross was a popular one with one of those project files which is floating around. Nevertheless, let's move on. You know, yeah, going back to this, if you do, you know, you do really want to recreate this. You know, there was a bit of work that went into this, but you know, it's worth taking the time if you want to recreate it nice and accurately. One of the boys. Cool. Pretty sure the only way this was used was for this outro. You know, just this big guitar hit. Cool, just that ending there, which I actually used for the ending of Pop Culture. Pretty sure that's where it's from. This took a little bit of work, you know, to build this up. It was quite a tricky one. There's 3 different samples in here. You've got Aerodynamic, which kind of echoes out here, and then I grabbed Viva La Vida to kind of build it up here, and then it ends on that Katy Perry track, One of the Boys. Excuse me, I'll just play that ending for you now. You can see this is entitled Ending 4. I've obviously done this 4 times or something. Let's have a listen. Nice. And yeah, okay, I'll just play that one more time. And there's like a ping pong delay or something like that, just to stretch this out a little bit more. Yeah, cool. So I hope you heard Viva La Vida sort of building up there, as well as, you know, Aerodynamic kind of fading out on that one. That was a tricky one, you know, it took a while to build that. And it's not exactly the same as Madeon's, but I think it sounds pretty close. Let's move on. Phantom Part 2. Nice. So yeah, okay, I think I may have used it for the main loop. Possibly the clap for that. Definitely a one shot. You know, these Justice tracks are great for the one shots. You know, they were I've got that real kind of low bass or kick sound that you really want, as well as my little synth at the end of Boys and Girls I was talking about. I think I grabbed that from Justice and just stitched that onto the end of that one there. Okay, next track, Q2. Okay, so this track I didn't use. I did try. I worked on this for ages. I really tried to incorporate it into the solo section, but no, I couldn't find a use for it. I was kind of convinced that Madeon had like an instrumental version that he used for the solo, but I really wanted to use it there, but I kind of found that there was just vocals over the entire thing, or there was some crazy synth line going on, which was clashing with the actual solo that I was trying to play, over it. So, I didn't use it. There's one I didn't use. If someone does know kind of where that goes, I'd really love to know, because I couldn't figure it out, and I can't help you guys out with that, but you might be able to help out someone else if you know where it is. Please share on the underneath this video. Let's move on. Raise your weapon.
Raise your weapon.
Of course, this is the Madeon remix, and it was towards the end, just the outro here that I used for the solo.
Raise your weapon.
Just here. Sweet, and I think that's been pitched down one, and probably chopped it up to make it a little bit longer, and here it is. Nice. So yeah, that's used over the solo. Heavy Cross comes in, then then Raise Your Weapon kicks in. The three tracks I use over the solos: Raise Your Weapon, What You Waiting For, and Shooting Stars. And I may as well just play the three of them for you now. Sweet. Right this second, next track. Okay, the only place, or the only sample I used from this was a solo clap at around 2 minutes just before the massive drop. I'll just find that for you now. It's around about here. Cool. So that solo clap that you hear there is right here. That's all that is. Madeon only ever hits this once, and I only hit it once as well in mine. And it's on the first round of the main groove. You kind of go through and you hit this square here. You have to watch the video to see where I hit this. And then it's like on the second time round, he replaces this clap, I'm pretty sure, with Baby One More Time. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. It's subtle things like that which make these things, a little bit more unique and more interesting, I guess. Yeah, cool. That's the only way I used right this second. I'm pretty sure it's right. The clap sounds right to me. Okay, next track, Shimpy, Rat-a-tat. Nice. It's that little keyboard line there. You can see this Shempy, which is here. It's been pitched up one semitone. Took me a long while to even sort of recognize this sample here. You might even see when you watch my video, I almost don't hit it. I kind of hit it the very last second before I move up to the main groove again. Yeah, so it's a subtle one, and I tweaked this for a long time, just trying to get it to sound right. I'll just play the original sample here so you can kind of hear the two side by side. It's just that little dit. Sure, I'm sure you guys can all hear that. for where all these go in the mix, it's really going to take examining the videos and comparing them to what you've got here. It's incredibly hard to tell you exactly when to play everything. It's really going to take you guys watching my video, watching Madeon's, and kind of comparing the two to what you're doing. Unfortunately, I can't tell you when to play each hit. That's just impossible. It's hard enough to do this shoot as it is. So sorry about that, but I'm doing my best. Shooting Stars is the next one. Sweet. I think that was a pretty easy one. It's used all over the place. It's used in the intro. I'm using the solo and used for the main loop. Cool. Yeah, pretty easy. Next track, Starry Eyed. Whoops. Cool. So somewhere in there's like this little solo O that she says. Can't find it right now. But just listen to the whole track, you'll find it. Pretty straightforward. Yep. Nice. Used quite a bit. Sounds quite cool too. I like it. Next one, Take It Off. Cool. So we've already gone to this. Just listen out to this. Listen out for the sample, which is coming up in a second, and just notice. I'll play the two side by side. And you might be able to hear the difference in the two. Listen to that, and then you listen to. Cool. There's kind of the hits that I grabbed from Alejandro. Yep. Cool. We've already been over that. Let's move on. Video Killed the Radio Star. Cool, there it was right there. So I read this on a forum somewhere about the O and the OA, and if you grab the OA and the O and you layer them over each other, they kind of harmonize with each other, and it just sounds so much more fuller. Originally, I just had the one O in there, and I thought it sounded alright until I kind of read this on a forum before I was gonna make this video. And I quickly sort of went back home and started resampling again, and God, it sounded so much better once I'd done that. So just take a listen to mine now. You'll notice there's a hi-hat in here as well. I'll explain that in a second. Just have a listen to the sample though. It just sounds huge, rather than just the O. It's like it's massive, and you'll hear that hi-hat, and that goes sort of hand in hand with the boyfriend drum beat. Yeah, nice. All right, Viva La Vida. Right, so if you go right to the very end of this, just the outro, you get the you get the opening to Pop Culture. Cool, and of course that's the nice. I think it's all in the same key and everything. I don't think you had to do much to that at all. Yep. Okay, next track. We're almost there. 2 more to go. What are you waiting for? I'm waiting for iTunes. There we go. Cool. So that's somewhere towards the end. This is when I use over the solo. There's a point there where she's not saying TikTok. There it is. Great. So I looped that, and that's this sample here. Yeah, and again, the solo, I'll play all three together. You've got Shooting Stars over here, and Raise Your Weapon. Yeah, they go really well together. Sounds huge, actually. There's another sample here. You'll notice this is a little bit different from the other one. In my video, you'll notice when I hit this button, I tweak a filter at the top here. I open up the filter of what you're waiting for. I've since sort of redone this so that I didn't have to sort of have a live setup like that every time. So I've sort of done that now, so I don't have to do that every time I want to play this. But I'll just play this for you now. You'll notice there's a filter that opens up just before kind of the solo comes in, and yeah, it's quite a good effect. Cool. So at the time of the video, I did that live, but I've since gone back and reworked that, so I didn't have to do that every time. I hope that clears up the solo for you guys. A lot of people have been using Heavy Cross, but I didn't really use it at all. There is a really good video out there of a guy who I can't remember his username at the moment, but he plays the keyboard solo at the end, and he sort of does his own thing. He did the solo really nice, the backing tracks for it as well, and I'm pretty sure he used Heavy Cross in there, but I couldn't get it to work. But go check out his video; it's very cool. It's quite an accurate remake as well. Definitely deserves more views. Last track is Wow, Kylie Minogue. Yeah, cool. Somewhere in there she says wow, and here it is. Yeah, with the I Got a Feeling, and Music Sounds Better With You sample at the end. Cool. Wow, okay, there's the 39 tracks. I'm glad we got through it. I'm just trying to see if I've missed anything. Doesn't look like I have. Honestly, if I have, please just hit me up with a message or something or a comment. I did try to go over it as thorough as I could, but I never really know how this is going to turn out until I export it at the end and then go back and sort of say, Ed, you idiot, you missed this. But I think that was pretty thorough. But let's move on. We've still got the solo to cover, so we'll jump right into that now. I know a lot of you have been hanging out for this. Yeah, because we're running quite long on time here. All right, so solo. Okay, so we've got to go into user one mode, and that's where all this happens. So you'll notice I've got a couple of MIDI clips here. I've also got audio clips. This is another thing that I did kind of after the video. Initially, when I did the video, I was doing everything live. I did the filter on the What You're Waiting For. I also had my virus synthesizer set up to the side, which you can probably see in the background, all the flashing lights, just to make the video look really cool. You'll see I've labeled all these with the notes. I literally just pulled out my guitar and it's how I work a lot of the time. It's just working out notes and stuff of tunes. If I want to know the pitch of things, I just pull out my guitar because I kind of work that way, and just worked out the notes to Madeon solo and then shaped my solo around that. Mine's a little bit different to his. And you can see I've labeled it all, F, D sharp, C, A sharp, G sharp, G, etc. And they're literally just one note in a MIDI clip. See if we can find that for you now. What was it? F3, so that's going to be up there. Okay, no, it's F4. Yeah, so it's just one note. These are all just one note. It's really not much more to it than that. And then was sending MIDI information to my virus and then, routing back in through an audio track. And that's how I was getting sound for the solo. And the way these clips were triggered was just through MIDI mapping. You jump up into MIDI map mode, which is up here in the top right corner. You've got MIDI symbol here. You click on that, everything goes blue, and you can map whatever you like, any of these kind of parameters to a MIDI controller, which is essentially what the launchpad is when it's in user one mode. These are now inactive. I've just left them in here just for the purpose of this tutorial, just to explain how I did it initially. I've since gone back and re-recorded the audio from my virus. I'll just play one of the notes here. Yeah, that real nasty sounding synth. I'd only had my virus about a day. I wasn't very familiar with it, but I really wanted to use it in the video. So I just grabbed a preset and just went, yep, that'll do. So I've recorded each note, so there's the F, D, C, A, and these are all kind of, approximately the notes of Madeon solo, and then I wanted to do my own sort of thing. What I was going to say. So yeah, if we jump up into MIDI map mode, you can see that all of these have a little tag next to them, and this is relative to the MIDI controller, which is the launch pad. You can use anything really. I've seen guys do stuff like this on APCs. You can use anything which has like a trigger pad, but the launch pad is really nice for doing this. And literally, all you do is just click on this and just pick a button. It could be any button, this one sort of thing, and you'll notice that changes. Let's just click on that again and change it to this. That's the first note. I just mapped it out. You can map out anyone you like. Madeon sort of has this, mapped all over the place, and I think I did the same thing, just so it looks cool. It's really all it is. He could have just mapped them all, in a line like this, but that wouldn't look very impressive. So, he's got a strategy. He's a clever guy. He knows how to utilize tools like YouTube as a marketing tool as well. So you can incorporate stuff like that into your videos as well, or whatever you want to do, however you want to use this. So okay, let's jump out of MIDI map mode. And, you can see these have already been mapped. Jump out of MIDI map mode, and then we hit the virus here, and we get a note. What I've also done is mapped this button here, which is just kind of a one I never really hit. I mapped that to stop all clips, which is okay. So you just go up to MIDI map, click on stop all clips, hit that note, and then that acts as a trigger to stop everything. So if I was in session mode and I'd stuff up, which happened a little bit while I was still learning to do this. Just jump over here and hit that, and it would stop everything, and then I could go on and continue. It's a handy little tip. Helped me out a lot. A lot of frustration of when you're in here, and then you start like trying to stop all the buttons and stuff. If you just click here, bang, go back. Very easy. Okay, more on the solo. So of course these are also step down one line. So when you're triggering, the first one here, if this MIDI note here was up on that line, and I hit the top row, it would play that MIDI note too, and I'd probably hear the virus. So you want to step everything down, so when you're launching this entire row, you don't trigger one of the solo notes as well. That's another tip. And yeah, this is some guys use drum racks, I think, to create solos. One of the guys, I think the first guy to actually cover this, good on him for tackling this. That's where I got the inspiration from. He's got well over 100,000 views, and I think he deserves it because he did a really good job. And he gave me the inspiration to do this myself. So I guess I got to kind of thank him. I think he used a drum rack, and I kind of wanted to try a different method and something so that if one thing was playing, I didn't have to switch that off when I started the other one. This kind of does it for you. So as you're going down, when you trigger one clip, it stops the other clip. And if you look at quantization settings for these notes, you'll see that the quantization is set to none. So you can literally hit them at any point, and they'll sound a note. Especially when you do that little trill at the bottom here. I had to practice that for a long time, because I'm no keyboard player, so I sat there literally for weeks just doing that, just trying to train my fingers so I could do that little trill. I don't think it sounded too bad, but that was kind of hard. The other thing is the double notes here at the end. So it's just, it's two MIDI notes. They're a fifth or a third or something. I can't quite remember. What's that? D sharp and a G. I feel like I don't have a keyboard in front of me. That's hard to work out. And I've mapped mine here, I think. You can pick any position on the launch pad as long as you're not doubling up. Otherwise, you're going to get some problems. I hope that clears things up for you guys. I guess I could say the very last, so the last little double notes here, they're taken off the loop, I think. Yeah, so loops been deactivated, and I think I rendered this audio with like a nice kind of reverby sound at the end. Is it these two? Yeah, so it just kind of drags out there. Um, cool. All right, so that's the solo. The last thing I can really tell you guys is about getting MIDI feedback. So when I'm hitting these notes, I'm getting light. That's a tricky thing. So what we'll do is we'll open up a new project file, new live set. Don't save. Want to keep that the way it was. Make sure you jump into user one mode. Okay, and so you've already been given a MIDI clip here. So just open up your ins and outs over here on the right hand side if you're not seeing this. And what you want to do is change your monitor to in. Go MIDI from, select Launchpad, and MIDI to, you want to select Launchpad as well. And you should be getting some MIDI feedback, or lighting up your LEDs. And that's really all it is. There's not much more to it. If you do want to check out some cooler things on MIDI feedback, go check out Kill Paris. He's got some great tutorials. He's a really good Ableton instructor as well. I get a lot of inspiration from him. So he's got some great tutorials on MIDI feedback. How you can utilize the velocity and stuff, and to get some cool, crazy tricks going on, which look really cool when you're out there performing. I think that's it from me. There's not much more I can say. If you do have any questions, if I've missed anything, please hit me up on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Mr. Ed Rollo. Yeah, look, I really appreciate the feedback, guys. Yeah, I'd really like to make some more tutorials in the future. And if you think I'm doing a good job, if you actually got something out of this, please let me know. I'd really appreciate the feedback. Anyway, enough from me. Good luck sampling, and cool, signing out. Cheers.